Have you ever heard of a trading card game, Animo? It's a Christian trading card game centered entirely around Bible verses. But before we get into that, take a look at this post on Amino apps I saw while surfing Google Images. It's a dude complaining that this game ripped off a Pokemon trading card game, saying that Animo stole everything from energy cards to the game's playmat to the evolution mechanic to even the game's logo. Well, as someone who has a basic level of knowledge of both Animo and Pokemon's rules, I can assure you that isn't truly the case. Despite sharing many gameplay aspects with Pokemon, Animo actually has a lot going for it. In this video, you'll see how Animo actually remixes Pokemon's gameplay, introduces completely new gameplay mechanics, and even has a ginormous advantage when compared to Pokemon. And no, it's not merely the Christian themes of the game, although they are in part that big advantage. I'll start with explaining the basics and advantages the game has to offer before proceeding to pick through... Wait, what's his name? Oh yeah, name withheld for protections arguments against this card game. This card game means a lot to me, and I really want others to see its true potential, so I won't waste too much time here. Since there's no time to waste, let's conquer the age-old question. Is Animo really a ripoff of the Pokemon TCG? So, what is Animo? Well, let me read from the box of the very first starter deck I got. Many games portray the fighting and pretend battles using magic spells or violent attacks. We want you to know that when you hold an Animo card in your hand, you are holding a weapon with true power to fight the real battles you face every day. That weapon is God's word. It is alive and active, sharper than any two-edged sword. It is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training so that you may be equipped for every good work. Now, some of you may say that this is some Neverlanders level cringe, and given the way that the person who will this worded things, I kind of agree. But if you look closer, you'll see Animo's huge advantage right there in plain sight. It's a trading card game with a Bible verse on every card. Now you may be thinking, what's the big deal? It's just a Christian trading card game with Bible verses. But the thing is, Bible verses aren't just moral words written onto a huge book of laws. They're literally God's words that He inspired people to write. See 2 Timothy 3 verses 16 to 17 for more details. So, if this is true, it means that a deck of Animo cards doesn't just contain regular trading cards. It's actually a living deck that's cards figuratively contain God's supernatural power. With this supernatural power, God can actually help you in your everyday battles, that is, the challenges in daily life. You might be rummaging through your Animo cards for no reason after something bad happened in your personal life, when you find a card that you found in a booster pack a few days ago that seems absolutely meant for you in that very moment. Animo cards are also great for verse meditation. The recognizable characters make verse memorization a cinch and help with character building. Not just that, but the cards are also physical. While Bibles may be physical too, they're also sometimes bulky and hard to look through. I mean, try lugging this one Bible to a convention to show it to your fellow geeks. Animo cards, on the other hand, are very compact and contain bite-sized chunks of scriptural power. This means you can carry them around in your pocket, use them as bookmarks, and even trade them with friends, which isn't just a great way to propagate God's desires for the cards, it's also a great way to evangelize to others. Not too many people will be lectured about the Bible, but they will become curious about the quirky Bible quiz. Finally, collecting animal cards and finding new verses can be likened to exploring the forest and looking for bugs. Sounds familiar? Well, that's where the original concept for Pokemon came from. So it's like Animo carries that same feeling of exploring and finding new things, except instead of finding new insects or bugs or whatever, you're finding random new verses that maybe God himself may have even picked out for you. In a nutshell, Animo has a lot of potential conceptually and spiritually, and I can easily see this becoming a success if it's handled properly. But what about that guy who claims that Animo is a ripoff of Pokemon? Now, some of these things are not big deals, such as the logo similarities and Pokemon animal similarities, especially with how some animal designs are pretty original, like Opapani's. I guess in order to make a Pokemon-inspired game, you need to take at least a few pages from the other kid's homework assignment. But then you see that they use Pokemon's mantra. I mean, seriously, just use the phrase unleash true power. It's not that hard. Sheesh. On the flip side, you see that they made a parody of Star Wars, which you know is just a parody. That they use backgrounds from the original trilogy for. Fortunately, all of this stuff is in the far distant past, and Animo Cards likely won't play with fire too badly again, especially since all of this was documented in 2019. But then you have identical playing mat designs, which may seem concerning at first, but I think I can ease your concerns by comparing the actual gameplay of the two games with each other. In Pokemon, the goal is to get 6 prize cards by defeating 6 of your opponent's Pokemon by pitting individual Pokemon cards against your opponent's other individual Pokemon cards, sort of like a one-on-one tag team boxing match. In Animo, however, it's different. Instead of fighting the other player's creatures, you compete to get to a set score and can play up to 4 cards at a time, which are then discarded after they're played. Already things are looking different. In Dolphin, you can win in other ways by taking out 6 Cine cards. Using those cards are, in fact, optional and just as different. You also take on Cines by playing multiple animals at a time, and playing Cine cards actually distracts the other player from scoring points. So in a way, you have to use Cines with moderation so that the other player won't get to the 6 card total and win. That are also equivalent to energy cards, evolution cards, and trainer cards, which are similar to Pokemon's respective gameplay elements. But due to the way Animo plays, the gameplay can feel quite different. Because of the gameplay mechanics Animo has, this opens brand new doorways for all sorts of game design approaches. For example, many cards have gimmick abilities and actions attached, and some Animo cards have special energy cards that force you to shuffle an energy card back into your deck, or flat out discard it when they're used to play an animal. There are even fellowship bonuses, which allow Animo to be played alongside other animal cards in order to gain a boost. So, is Animo a bootleg, ripoff, or crappy off-brand of Pokemon? I say no, it's not a ripoff. It's a literal spiritual successor. Like Pizza Tower does with Wario Land 4, and how Nicktoons All-Star Brawl does with Smash Bros. Animo takes a successful, already established formula and does its own thing, remixing and moving around gameplay elements. Speaking of Pizza Tower, Animo's relationship to Pokemon can be likened to the way that the noise update gives the noise moves that are similar to Peppino's, like the Ram and Grab, but also mixes and matches his gameplay in such a way that he plays differently. Huh. I wonder if name would help when it teamed up with certain person said he learned about Pizza Tower. So no, I don't think Animo is a crappy off-brand, and I think that this guy is overreacting somewhat. What I do think is that this is a very cool game that takes inspiration from a more well-known card game and does something truly special with it by doing more than just remixing the game's mechanics. It isn't just a spiritual successor, it's a spiritual tool, a spiritual weapon. Because of this, the cards can move people powerfully and also be moved around the world by God to get to where they're needed the most. And most of all, they contain Bible verses in a convenient format that allows people to unleash true power. This was a video essay about Christian card game that takes after Pokemon. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe. I have a few more ideas, and let's hope they're huge successes.